の時間なのだ。この動画は英語に少しでも慣れたい音や心地よい声でぐっすり眠りたい音にぴったりなのだ。ヘッドホンやイヤホンを使うともっとリラックスできるかもしれないのだ。でもね、寝る準備ができたらそのまま聞いてリラックスしてほしいのだ。聞きながら眠っちゃっても全然大丈夫なのだ。それじゃあ一緒にリラックスした時間を楽しむのだ。ではでは始めるのだ。
The Journey to Eternal Light. Tom and Lucy lived in a quiet village surrounded by rolling hills and dense forests. While most of the villagers led simple lives, Tom and Lucy had a thirst for adventure. They were inseparable, always exploring new places and solving mysteries together. Little did they know, their biggest adventure was about to begin. One crisp autumn morning, Tom was walking near the old mill when he noticed something shiny sticking out of the ground. Curious, he knelt down and unearthed a small, intricately carved metal box. The box had no lock but featured a series of strange symbols etched across its surface. "This looks ancient," Tom thought as he turned the box over in his hands. He ran to Lucy's house to show her his discovery. Lucy examined the box carefully. "These symbols, they remind me of the old legends Mrs. Harper told us about. Do you think it could be connected?" Tom shrugged. "There's only one way to find out." Inside the box, they found a rolled-up parchment and a small, golden key. The parchment was a map, but it didn't resemble any part of their village or the surrounding areas. In the corner of the map was a name: the Lost Kingdom of Eldoria. Lucy's eyes widened. "Eldoria? Isn't that the kingdom from the legend about the hidden treasure?" Tom grinned. "Exactly. And I think we're meant to find it." The map showed a path leading deep into the forest. With supplies packed, they set off early the next morning. The journey was filled with anticipation, their imaginations running wild with thoughts of what they might find. The forest was quiet except for the sound of their footsteps and the occasional rustle of leaves. As they followed the map, they came across landmarks that matched the drawings: a tree shaped like an arch, a boulder split in two, and a small stream with crystal clear water. Each landmark confirmed they were on the right track. After several hours of walking, they reached a clearing where an enormous stone statue stood. The statue depicted a knight holding a sword pointed downward, and at its base was an inscription, "Only the worthy may pass." Lucy touched the inscription. "What do you think it means?" Tom pointed to the golden key. "Maybe this will unlock something." Nearby, they noticed a small pedestal with a keyhole. Tom inserted the key, and with a soft click, the ground beneath the statue began to tremble. Slowly, a hidden staircase was revealed, leading underground. They exchanged a nervous glance but didn't hesitate. With flashlights in hand, they descended the staircase. The air grew cooler as they went deeper, and the faint sound of water echoed through the passageway. At the bottom, they found themselves in a vast underground chamber. The walls were covered in carvings that seemed to tell a story. Lucy traced her fingers along the images, piecing together the tale of Eldoria Kingdom that had thrived centuries ago, known for its wealth and wisdom. But greed and betrayal led to its downfall, and the kingdom was said to have vanished, hidden away from the world. In the center of the chamber was a stone table with another map and a riddle carved into its surface. To find the heart of Eldoria's light, seek the mountain of eternal night. Through trials 3, you must prevail. For only then shall you lift the veil. Trials? Tom said, frowning. What do you think that means? It sounds like we have more challenges ahead, Lucy replied, studying the new map. The mountain of eternal night. I think it's pointing to Shadow Peak. Shadow Peak was a mountain range to the north, known for its rocky terrain and frequent mist. The villagers rarely ventured there, calling it a cursed place. But Tom and Lucy were undeterred. Their journey to Shadow Peak was arduous. The terrain grew steeper, and the air colder as they climbed. The first trial awaited them at the entrance to a dark cave. A plaque near the entrance read, "Face the darkness and find the light." Inside, the cave was pitch black. They held hands and moved cautiously, their flashlight beams cutting through the gloom. Strange sounds echoed around them, making it hard to tell what was real and what was imagination. After what felt like hours, they spotted a faint glow ahead. It was a lantern hanging from a chain, illuminating a path that led them safely out of the cave. "That wasn't so bad," Tom said, though his hands still trembled slightly. "One trial down, two to go," Lucy replied. The second trial awaited them at a narrow bridge spanning a deep ravine. A sign at the edge read, "Trust in the unseen." The bridge was covered in a thick mist, making it impossible to see the other side. Lucy stepped forward cautiously. "I think we just have to trust that the bridge is intact," she said, her voice steady. Tom followed, his heart pounding with each step. The wood creaked under their weight, but they reached the other side safely. The final trial was at the summit of Shadow Peak. There, they found a large stone door with an inscription, "Prove your worth through courage and heart." The ground suddenly shook, and a creature emerged from the shadows. It was a guardian, a massive wolf with glowing eyes. It didn't attack but stood blocking the door, watching them intently. Lucy stepped forward. "We mean no harm," she said softly. "We only seek the truth of Eldoria." The wolf tilted its head, then stepped aside, allowing them to approach the door. Tom pushed it open, and they entered a chamber filled with golden light. Inside, they found the heart of Eldoria, a massive crystal pulsating with light. Surrounding it were treasures beyond their wildest dreams. But more importantly, there were books, scrolls, and artifacts that told the full story of the Lost Kingdom. Tom and Lucy knew they couldn't keep this discovery to themselves. They returned to their village and shared the knowledge, ensuring Eldoria's legacy would never be forgotten. The villagers marveled at their bravery and celebrated their return. Tom and Lucy's adventure was more than a tale of treasure. It was a journey of courage, friendship, and uncovering the truth of the past. And though their story became legend, they knew their adventures were far from over. For somewhere in the world, another mystery was waiting to be solved. The journey to the city of endless stars. Tom and Lucy had always been curious about the world beyond their small village. Their home was nestled in a valley surrounded by mountains, forests, and streams. And while it was beautiful, they often wondered what lay beyond the horizon. One day, their curiosity turned into a grand plan when an old traveler visited the village. and shared a tale about a legendary place called the City of Endless Stars. The traveler, a weathered man with a long gray beard, spoke of a city that sparkled like the night sky. It is said to lie far to the east, he told them, beyond the mountains, through the desert, and across the whispering plains. Few have sought it, and even fewer have returned. But those who do find it speak of wonders unlike anything in this world. Tom and Lucy exchanged a look. They knew this was their chance to embark on an adventure of a lifetime. With the traveler's guidance, they drew a rough map and began preparing for their journey. They packed food, water, warm clothing, and a small tent, along with a notebook to record their findings. The morning of their departure was bright and clear. The entire village gathered to see them off. "Be careful," called Mrs. Harper, the baker, handing them a loaf of fresh bread. "And come back with stories." With waves and smiles, Tom and Lucy set off. The first leg of their journey took them through the forest that bordered the village. They had explored parts of it before, but this time, they ventured deeper than ever. The forest was alive with the sounds of birds and rustling leaves. As they walked, they spotted deer grazing in the distance and squirrels darting up trees. The path grew narrower and more overgrown, but the map indicated they were on the right track. By evening, they reached a clearing where they set up camp. Sitting by the fire, Lucy looked up at the stars. "Do you think the city really exists?" she asked. Tom nodded. "I do. And even if it doesn't, this journey will be worth it." The next morning, they continued eastward, climbing steadily as the terrain became rocky. The air grew cooler, and soon they were surrounded by towering mountains. The path was steep and challenging, but the views were breathtaking. Snow-capped peaks rose in the distance, and below them, the valley stretched out like a patchwork quilt. As they reached a narrow pass, they encountered their first challenge. A section of the trail had crumbled away, leaving a gap too wide to jump. Tom spotted a fallen tree nearby and suggested they use it to create a makeshift bridge. Together, they pushed and rolled the tree into place, carefully crossing one at a time. "That was close," Lucy said, her heart pounding as they reached the other side. "It's only the beginning," Tom replied with a grin. After several days in the mountains, they descended into a vast desert. The sun was relentless, and the heat was unlike anything they had experienced before. They wrapped cloth around their heads to shield themselves and rationed their water carefully. The desert seemed endless, with dunes stretching as far as the eye could see. Occasionally, they spotted mirages, shimmering pools of water that vanished as they approached. On the third day, they stumbled upon an oasis. Palm trees surrounded a small pond, and the cool water was a welcome relief. As they rested, they met a group of nomads who offered them dates and tea. The nomads spoke of the Whispering Plains, warning them of its strange winds that carried voices. "Some say the voices belong to the spirits of those who got lost there," an elder explained. "Be sure to stay on the path, and trust your compass." Leaving the desert behind, Tom and Lucy entered the Whispering Plains. True to its name, the air was filled with soft murmurs that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. At first, the voices were faint, but as they ventured further, they grew louder, forming words and phrases. "Turn back," one voice whispered. "Keep going," said another. Lucy shivered. "It's eerie, isn't it?" Tom nodded. "Let's focus on the compass and not let the voices distract us." For hours, they pressed on, ignoring the whispers that grew more insistent. Finally, they emerged from the plains and found themselves at the edge of a lush, green valley. In the distance, they saw something that took their breath away, a city that glittered like the stars. The city of endless stars was even more magnificent than they had imagined. The buildings were made of crystal and gold, reflecting the light in a dazzling display. Streams of clear water ran through the streets, and gardens filled with flowers of every color adorned the city. People dressed in flowing robes walked gracefully, their smiles warm and welcoming. A man who appeared to be a scholar approached them. "Welcome, travelers," he said. "You have journeyed far to find this place." He led them to a grand hall where they were offered food and drink. The hall was adorned with murals that depicted the city's history. It had been founded by a group of visionaries who sought to create a place of peace and beauty, hidden from the world to protect its purity. You are among the few who have proven worthy to find us, the scholar said. But the city holds many secrets, and there is much to learn. Tom and Lucy spent several days exploring the city. They marveled at the advanced technology and art, and they recorded everything in their notebook. They learned that the city's power source was a massive crystal that harnessed energy from the stars. The people of the city lived in harmony with nature, and their way of life was both simple and profound. One evening, as they stood on a balcony overlooking the city, Lucy said, "I wish we could stay here forever." Tom nodded. "It's tempting. But I think part of what makes this place so special is the journey it takes to get here." When the time came to leave, the people of the city gave them gifts: a small crystal and a book filled with knowledge to take back to their village. "Share what you have learned," the scholar said. "And remember, the stars will always guide you." Their journey home was just as challenging as their journey there, but their spirits were high. When they finally returned to their village, they were greeted with cheers and curiosity. They shared their stories, the gifts, and the lessons they had learned. The city of endless stars became a legend in the village, inspiring future generations to dream big and explore the unknown. And though Tom and Lucy eventually grew older, they never stopped seeking adventure, knowing that the world was full of wonders waiting to be discovered.